The first and only woman Army Corps unit of color to deploy overseas during World War II is getting the world's attention after a recent movie that came out about their mission. The battalion, nicknamed 6888, had a critical mission, redistributing and sorting millions of pieces of mail. There aren't many people who know their story like a group I met with in Leavenworth. A predominantly black women Army Corps battalion nicknamed the 6888 handled a job critical to the World War II effort that many people didn't realize: redistributing mail.
I found an article in February 1945. They made 30,000 address changes a day.
That's retired Navy Commander Carlton Philpott. He's been affiliated with years of research alongside the Richard Allen Cultural Center in Leavenworth.
And they telling the story, well, they just focus on the mail. They had to do all of that and deal with the surrounding areas of the discrimination. They expected them to fail. 6 months. They did it in 3.
It was a 2 to 3 year backlog of mail in the European Theater of Operations. In just 90 days, as he said, historical records document the women handled around 17 million pieces of mail. A monument was dedicated to them in Fort Leavenworth's Buffalo Soldier Military Park, and some of the surviving members got to visit it.
They set the stage for us. They were in the WAC Corps, but they still had to go through Jim Crow and Jane Crow. And here it was, I got commissioned in 1979, still had to go through Jim Crow and Jane Crow.
The Cultural Center also made it so that students in Leavenworth could hear the women's history directly from them during their visit.
Questions that the kids asked, were you afraid to leave home? What kind of food did you have? Did you sleep in a good bed? And to hear the ladies come back and answer, and all these ladies were in their 90s.
80 years after the end of the 6888's mission, researchers here in Leavenworth are still discovering information. Black History Month is a reminder that history is timeless.
We as a people must not only write what will be read, we must write what will be read. And too often what is written about us is written with invisible pens.
Don't depend on the school to tell us our history. We have to tell our kids our history.
I just love this story. I was with the members of the Richard Allen Cultural Center talking about these women for hours. A notable fact for when people ask, where has this story been all this time? Well, the board members told me they did a legacy tour in Europe, walking in the women's shoes and seeing where all this mail was held. Family members said then that the women of the 6888 were told not to talk about the mission when they returned home. Glad we're hearing about their history now.